Hey guys, Aaron here, and we're doing part two of Believe. Of Believe. I was reading your shirt at the same time I was doing it. I got sidetracked. All right. Hey guys, this is part two of the Aaron White Show, interviewing Beau from Believe the Brand. All right. I won't do sponsor shout outs. You guys know what it is. Oh, where's the FIFO books? Actually, quick word from sponsors. So you got FIFO by Aaron Weston, a hilarious novel about all the dodgy stuff that happens in the FIFO industry. We also have FIFO number 2, How a Drug Dealer Became a FIFO Worker. And they're both available on, if you're on TikTok, just up on my homepage. There's a little link at the top there to order them. Same with the kids' books, which I'm going to tell you about in a sec. And for the kids' books on Facebook, under Children's Books by Aaron White, you got Australian Surf Lifesavers, where we've actually partnered up with Surf Lifesaving Australia for that one. You got Australian Mining Machines, Australian Paramedics, Australian Police Vehicles, Australian Firefighters, Australian Mining Machines, if I haven't said that one already, and you got Mining Machines Colouring Book. You're about 7 books all up. Fantastic
Where are you selling these books at the moment?
Hey?
Where are you selling the books at the moment?
So they're online, either through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and like lots of the tourist information centres have the mining ones. So the colouring in book and the mining machines are available at Kalgoorlie Boulders Visitor Centre, and also Hannah's Tourist Mine and Tom Price Tourist Centre and Newman, and there's a couple other ones. And the police one's available at the Police Academy over in New South Wales. And there's a couple other places as well that are available. And I'm just trying to expand that. As you're saying, with the manifestation and stuff like that, I've just changed my roster. So I was doing 1 week on, 1 week off. I've just changed to a 1 and 3. So 1 week at work, 3 weeks off. So I'll be smashing this podcast a lot more. I'll be smashing the books.
Where are you at the moment?
Hey?
Where are you at the moment? What site?
I'm at Boddington.
Yeah, I worked there for a long time, mate.
It's an awesome site. So basically, if something happens at home, you just jump in the car, come straight home. It's good to get.
Yeah. So when I was working there, my partner was pregnant, and I actually lived down in Beau Drury. So I used to leave after work and then drive straight home. It was only an hour and 10 minutes to my driveway. And then I used to stay the night with her. And then I would come back for pre-start in the morning. So my boys were pretty good. They just checked up with me, making sure I got home and that, due to fatigue management and stuff like that. And then, Mrs. had bubs. There was a few close calls where I nearly had to go home. But then I ended up just saying, no, I'm not going to come in, because I knew he was pretty close to coming, and I stayed home. So it was good. I didn't have to rush from work and get there. I was actually home when she went into labour. So that was cool.
How has having a child changed your life, changed everything?
This is a good question, because a lot of people say, like, oh, kids change your life for the better, and things like that, like, you become in a better place and that when you have children. And for me and my partner, we had so many goals and so many like dreams and ambitions and stuff, that when we decided to have a baby, which was not planned, like, it was like, wow, like, all that's now gonna have to change. And it's like, it's scary, because it's like we were on path, like I said before, manifesting so many different things, like traveling, going around COVID obviously changed that too, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, and it's funny, because it was scary at first, and then when he came along, it's like, well, now I'm like tenfold want to kick my goals. Like, I'm like, I want to show up for him, and I want to show up for our family. So now you just adjust to your environment and utilize your situations to obviously suit him. But I have a very supportive family. Shout out to my mum and dad. They're fucking awesome. They love little Harvey. So, they help us out when we're flat out, or we're actually Kirsty, my partner, she actually went back to work, and my mum was having time off work to be with Harvey while she flew out and I was flying in, or vice versa. Like, then while we're home, we're up to 3 a.m. doing Believe. Like, life was, it's settled a little bit now. Now we're selling some houses and shit. We're always hectic, but it's just juggling, man. Like, my partner's really good at juggling. So yeah, it definitely changes your life, but you know, it's how you let it change your life, and what good you get out of it, you know, because a lot of people say, you know, kids change your life for the good, but what if you're on a good road already? Like, how do you utilize and adjust? Do you know what I mean? Like, because we were full throttle into a direction, and then the spanner, he came in, and we were like, okay. So there was a lot of things we had to change, but now we're just like super focused, and we want to bring him into a positive spiritual world, and we want to do well for him, and we want to be home more for him too now, you know, as well. So things change, man. It definitely changes your life, whether it's for the better or the worse or whatever. It's up to you. So,
was he planned? It sounds like no.
Bro, my partner's got 7 years on me, and she's got a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old. So kids for her weren't a fucking option. I don't have kids, and I've always wanted kids, and she knew that, and she gave up her body and a lot of her life to give that to me. So I'm forever blessed and grateful for that. And now we have an amazing boy, and he's brought so much love and light to her life. She never would have thought was possible. So that also answers your question there as well. She asked her 2 years ago, like, you're going to have a baby? And she'd tell you dead ass no. Like, nah, not fucking possible. So, they definitely do change your life, yes.
Do you reckon that'll be it? The 3 kids?
I want more. she's kind of like, no, and then she has a little moment where she's like, oh, another one wouldn't be a bad thing, and then it's crazy, man, because we got so much going on, and people message us all the time, and they're like, how the fuck do you do it with like a newborn? And I'm like, man, it's definitely a support system. Like, we have amazing friends and an amazing family that help us out, and without that, you can, like I said before, with the homeless thing, man, like, you know, I used to judge single mums all the time. I used to be like, you know, single mums, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, fuck, like, being a single parent would be fucking hard. You got to work. You got to be the mum and the dad. You've got to teach them the right ways. You got to keep you cool. You got to, you know, implement strategies and routines. And it's like, man, by yourself. Even when Kirst was away and we were swapping over, there was a time there we didn't see each other for 6 to 8 weeks at a time, man, doing FIFO. Yeah, bro, it was crazy. And that was a sacrifice we made, where a lot of people would have said not doing that, not seeing my partner for that long. And we implemented these things, and we chatted about it, and we said we've got to make sure that we stay strong and we communicate and we don't let it break us. And yeah, we got through it. And that's one of the many journeys we talk about. So yeah.
Where do you want to be when you're 35? So in 5 years' time.
Probably definitely at home with my family. Like, work is a priority to me. It's always been a priority to me. But if I could work from home doing my business and my breath work, and I could and I can be helping other people, like I said before, man, giving back to the universe, instead of going, well, I'm going to do breath work and I'm going to do Believe the label so I can be at home with my family and I can make money and live free. That's the wrong answer for me. The answer for me is I want Believe the label to change people's lives, and I want to be able to help people with breath work. And if I can do that and stay at home with my family, then fucking win-win situation, bro. You know what I mean? So that's definitely, like I said, work's my priority, man. And I don't plan on giving up on FIFO soon. I just scored a new job, FIFO. I'm doing 8 and 6 now. I was doing contracting, so that we'll get into FIFO soon. But yeah, that's definitely being at home with my family, man, is definitely a goal. Which is what my partner's just done. Which is like, yeah, definitely when we get into FIFO work, but we'll chat about that.
I'll chat about it now. So what do you do, FIFO?
So I used to build power lines as a contractor. So I used to fly around the whole of Australia, and we'd build new lines, or we'd do maintenance. I did a lot of maintenance at Boddington. I think hang on, bro, my phone just fucked it. I'm gonna charge it up to get back on TikTok live.
Hey guys, TikTok, Beau's is setting it up. Oh, you're still on there. You're just frozen.
So no, my phone's definitely cucked today. Yeah, so I used to fly all around Australia, bro, building power lines, and there was no routine, no schedule. It could be like, you could be away 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week. You could be away 2 days. You could be home 1 day, or it was definitely pretty hectic.
Hey, Beau, I might just say goodbye to the people on TikTok, and then we'll just keep doing this on Zoom.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, guys. Beau's just lost connection. So, yeah, have a fantastic night, and check it out.
You want to watch the rest? You gotta jump onto the YouTube.
Yep, so check it out on YouTube, The Aaron White Show. You got about 55-ish podcasts on there, or check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, see you guys. Have a great night. All right, ending this.
Great, bro.
All right, so that's all ended. Boom.
I like the TikTok live. That's cool.
You liked it? Yeah. I think you said you're probably the 4th person.
Yeah, it's a good idea, man.
Something different anyway.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Cool. So that's all. Get rid of the phone. All right. Concentrate on Zoom. Oh, no, you're frozen on Zoom.
There was only like 8 of us. And like we were family, we used to go around the towns all around Australia. We'd drink piss, we'd work hard, and it was definitely like we're all good mates. We all hung out back in Perth sometimes, and like we had some good times. And it was like basically what happened was I left there not long ago to start this new job in this gold mine, and then that was only because I got a call from my brother-in-law saying, "Hey, I can get you a job doing 8 and 6. You see your son every week. You can watch him grow up. Really good money, career progression, and all that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Well, that was totally out of my comfort zone," which is another thing. You don't grow if you stay in your comfort zone, which all about. So I was like, I was basically like torn, and my missus was like, "Well, you need to do what makes you happy." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Well, I want to see my son every week. I want to know in 3 months or 4 weeks down the track if I'm going to be home or not, so I can plan stuff with him and plan stuff with my family." And at the moment, I can't do that. It's all just like leaving, coming, going. You might be home 1 week of the month. You might be home 1 day of the month. You might be home the whole month, like, contracting, how it works, bro. So, yeah, so look, I took it to my boys and I said, I'd been there 5 years, and like I said, they're all like family to me. And probably one of the hardest phone calls I made was to my boss, who I consider a very good friend of mine. And he respected, he goes, you got to do what you got to do for your family. So that was a weight off my shoulders. And literally like the next week I left and I was gone, and I'm now at another site, and I'm really happy there, and things are progressing there really well. And yeah, like I'm home every week with an hour flight, like I was doing before, sometimes 15, 16-hour drives and stuff in trucks. And yeah, it was good to travel around, see a lot of Australia. Like I said, man, we had our own utes and that, so we could stop in the towns and and see places, which was awesome. We were up in Cairns for a little bit, and Queensland, and that was awesome. So yeah, you know, one of the first mine sites I ever went to was a site in Queensland. Whenever I tell this story, halfway through telling them how I got there, they used to call me a liar, you know, like, fuck off. That's honestly, bro, dead set. We leave at 12 o'clock at night, jump on a plane, you know, 5 or 6 hours plane. We'd come over to Brizzy. We'd have a stopover in Brizzy, and then we'd have breakfast and that in Brisbane. Then we'd jump on another plane, head up to Cairns. We usually get there in the afternoon. Beautiful in Cairns, the weather, the bar at the airport's quite nice, so a few beers. Then we'd jump on a plane to Weipa, and then in Weipa we'd jump on a bus. We'd jump on a bus for a little bit, jump over to a bar, jump on a boat, go across a river, jump on another bus, and that bus would go to site. And by the time we got to site, it was near on 24 hours travel and a lot of drinking beer, because when we got there, it was 3 weeks on a dry site with no piss. And my boys love drinking beers. So, you know, that was pretty hard for some of them. But, you know, 3 weeks out there, definitely had to, you know, get some routines and focus in place, because I find that if I don't have anything, it's very hard, especially being isolated, you know, from your family and your friends and stuff. So, which is definitely something I wanted to get into. Now that I'm on the subject, I might as well talk about it. But so when I got to this site, it was one of the first sites I've ever been to, and it was a Rio Tinto site, and it was nice, man. It had a fucking hotel-sized pool, the gym's brand new equipment. They had arcade rooms, they had music rooms, they had, you name it, it was there. The food was amazing. Like, and for me, my first mine site, I thought this was all new and exciting, you know. And you know, I walked past an older dude one day while I was there, and I was probably like a couple swings into mining, and I said, "G'day, mate, how are you?" Like, I'm always positive at work, and you know, I was happy. I was young. I was excited about being in mining, and you know, this guy looked like he'd probably been in mining fucking 30, 40 years. And I said, you know, I said, "How's your day going, mate?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, living the dream." And then like dragging his feet, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the way." And he goes, "I lie a lot," is what he said to me. And then I was like, I walked away from that, and I'm like, man, this guy's probably on telephone numbers. Like, we're on an amazing site. We're in fucking a beautiful country. I'm like, how can you be so, like, how do you let yourself get to that point? You know, like, he probably started one day like me, happy, young, enthusiastic, excited. And now he's in his 50s or 60s, just fucking hating what he does. You know what I mean? And that really made me think. Because when I first started mining, I was like, I'll get in 2 years and I'll get out. And like everyone, it doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't happen. You don't put it on a house and come back to Perth. You get used to the money. And another story, which I've got written down here on a piece of paper, which I wanted to tell you, is my partner's been in oil and gas for 8 years. And she actually did one more swing after a maternity leave. That was the weeks where we were swapping out with my mum, with the young fella, with Harvey. And, you know, she said, nah, that's it. I'm out. I'm going to put all my time and effort into Believe. And, you know, you stay FIFO. And she's also a PT. So she's PTing clients at home along with fucking doing Believe. She's an absolute animal. But, you know, she said to me, she was working alongside a guy there. He would have been on nearly 400K a year, right? And he sat down to her and he goes, you know, I heard you're leaving. And she goes, yep, I'm going to do what's best for me and my family. And I'm going to pack up offshore. You know, I've done it long enough, and I'm going to be home with my family. Like, before me, she was a single mum. She's had nannies. She's had family members help with the kids. Like, you know, her whole kids growing up, she's been 2 and 2, you know. And anyway, this old guy said, you know, I wish I could do that. He was in his 60s. He goes, I wish I could do that. He was in so much debt to the bank. He had a beautiful home. He had jet skis. He had cars. He had everything you could possibly want, but he was a slave to the money. You know what I mean? Like, he was a slave to the job. And it goes back to that thing that we always say, the simple things in life, you know, like you could live on minimum wage and have a half car that you own, you know, a regular house that you own, and normal necessities, and live a happy life. But these people earn these massive wages and they go straight to the bank and they get fucking brand new cars and motorbikes and jet skis and a big house on the water. And because it feels good at the time and emotion, and now they're a slave to work and they're unhappy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, that was a bit of an eye opener to me as well. Like, and one day I was in Boddington and I was driving down, because my dream was to be on the mines. And I used to say to my mum and dad, I'm going to work on the mines. And I tried everything I could. And, a lot of people always told me, like, you won't get on the mines. Like, you don't have enough experience. Like, you've always got to know someone. And without knowing someone, you'll never get there. And I finally got there. And I was probably 3 or 4 years in. I'm driving down the gold mine road in Boddington. And I'm going, fuck, I'm here. Like, this is what I always wanted. Why not happy? Like, I'm fucking here. And I'm like, am I starting to lose the passion or what? Like, what's going on? And I looked around and I'm looking at all the workers and that mess and shit, and I'm like, every cunt here is a fucking slave to money. They give up their time away from their family. You get dirty. You put yourself in real dangerous situations at work and stuff like that. And I'm like, for what? For a bit more money that you're gonna spend, like, because you're earning more, you spend more, And I was like, that was a bit of a moment too for me. I was like, is this, I need to be smart here. And COVID actually happened, and COVID was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I know a lot of people say that's fucking selfish or whatever, but in my situation, it's a horrible thing. And what's happening to small businesses and people dying and stuff, it's terrible. But for me, COVID, so what happened was Kirsty was on the oil rig and she had to do 6-week swings because they weren't allowed to fly in and off the rig. And I continued working as normal, which was lucky. And when we were both home, we weren't allowed to do anything. We were in lockdown. We weren't allowed to go down. And, we'd usually go down for 3 or 4 pub lunches a week, and we'd take the kids out every night, and, we'd eat out at restaurants. We'd have oysters, we'd have vodkas for lunch, and we didn't give a fuck what it costs because we were on good money, So we treated it as a holiday every time we were both home together. And when COVID happened, we couldn't spend money, and we watched the bank balance go up, and we went, hang on a second, this looks good. And we did up the house a little bit with the extra money that we saved from not going out, and we made our house an abode and a really nice home, and put up lights and a new barbecue, and we started having mates around. And then the COVID restrictions got lifted, and we were like, oh, I don't really want to go down to the pub and spend all that money, and I don't want to go clothes shopping, and I don't want to fucking go stay in a hotel. Like, I love the home that we're in. So that fucking completely changed us, like, and how we spent our money and what we did. And we really took that on. And with all the money we saved with COVID, we paid off all our fucking debts, all our credit cards, car loans, everything. And we felt free. And I was like, wow, this is a fucking good feeling. And we never would have thought of that before. We were thinking about getting more bike loans and more holiday fucking and more this and more that. And then after COVID, we're like, let's stop here, pay everything off, and fuck, this freedom feels quite nice, So that was awesome. That was definitely awesome. So, Kirst obviously gave up offshore now. She's home full time. She's loving it. I'm still fire for her. I'm week on, week off. So I'm seeing the little fella every week, which is awesome, and I'm loving that. So, yeah, like you said before, definitely would love to be home and do business from home with my partner, and have the kids involved with the business as well, and all that. So that's definitely a goal. But FIFO has been an awesome experience, man. I don't regret it at all. It's just, if I have any advice to anyone, it's definitely be careful with your money, which no one's going to ever take that on. You go away, man, and you earn this great money, and you come home and you've got a full week off. What do? Blow piss, buy clothes, put it into business, invest it. Like, that's a huge, definitely a huge piece of advice that I'd chuck out there.
Totally agree. Hey, any crazy stories about your adult shop days?
Oh, you want to go there?
We don't have to.
Um,
I know
oh,
we brought
bro.
up to such a positive. It's like if you want to go back there, that's
Yeah.
fine with me.
No. The adult shop was fun, man. Definitely. So I first of all, there's probably a lot of people that know me from back in the day on a negative note. I used to be like I was Snapchat famous back in the day, so I had I had a lot of views. I had my Snapchat used to blow up, and I used to film everything in the adult shop. And we actually had a stripper agency running out of the adult shop as well. So all the girls were on the Snapchat, and everyone just thought I was a pig and a piece of shit. And I was, like I said, like I'd broken up with my partner, and we had a lot of things that I'm not going to get into, but I wasn't fond of women, and I was like, I hated the world and I hated women, and I was like in a real bad negative mind space. And I was just like, fuck it. Like all I cared about was the adult shop and work, and I posted everything on my Snapchat that I did there, all the fucking dildos and toys and all our strippers that would come, into the shop and do photo shoots and stuff like that. And I guess it looks like a dick move, and it was back then. I was having fun, but I had like hotels with the mates, and like we're always out at the Cass, and like I was always partying. And people get envious, and people also look at me and go like, he's a dickhead. And I was like, I'll take that on the chin. Like I got a lot of hate, but I had a massive following from that. And I think what's awesome is a lot of people that used to follow me back then and follow me now just go like, whoa, there is fucking hope that people can change. Like I'm totally different now, and I've got a family, and I do breath work, for fuck's sake. Like, so, but adult shops definitely, like I can probably speak about a few things now, but I've got a couple of stories that I'd like to share, but one of them was so I had this old lady come in, and she didn't want to borrow me. I'm a young guy covered in tattoos. I was in a singlet behind the counter. She did a fucking 180 and tried to walk out the other door. And I was like, hey, come back. And she's like, no, I'm in the wrong shop. And I said, you're not. Like, come in. Like, it's all good. I'm not going to buy it. And I said, look, I'm quite educated on everything in this shop. Like, I'm happy to help you. She goes, well, is there a female I've talked to? I said, no, there's not. But I said, I own the shop, and like, I'm happy to fucking like help you with anything you need. And she was like, okay, well, blah, blah. My husband's basically half dead, and I need something that runs on batteries because his has died. And I was just like, I thought that was funny. So, we got talking, and I got her out of her shell a bit, and she ended up buying like a rechargeable fucking thing, and she didn't even know. She's like, where do the batteries go? I'm like, love, it's like your phone. You charge it up and away you go. And she's like, all right, cool. And then by the end of it, it was a Friday, and I said, have a good weekend. And she held the bag up above her head, and she goes, I'm about to have the best weekend I've had in a long time. And this is a lady that's in her 50s, who first came in and wanted nothing to do with me, and now she's fucking having a laugh. So, there was a lot of positives of being in the shop. Helping FIFO couples was one of them. The shop's in Ellenbrook. It's still running now. My mate still owns it. Fantasy Housemaids adult shop in Ellenbrook, so shout out to them. It was a lot of just couples, FIFO couples. A woman would come in and go, I want to spice up the relationship, bit of lingerie, feel comfortable, feel good, different lubes, flavored stuff, whatever, handcuffs. And it was fun. It was fun to push people out of their comfort zone to find things they like. And I enjoyed that, and I was confident with it, and I enjoyed it. It was me all over, so that was cool. But it just, I wanted a family, and I wanted to de-taint my name. I was painted with a tainted brush, and I was like, I want a family, I want to be loved, and I want to be taken seriously. So, I was in and out of a toxic relationship and working in that shop, and I was like, this is just going nowhere for me. So I got out of there for that reason. I probably won't go into this side of things, but you see all the people cheating as well. You see a lot of like normal females come in and they tell you their stories, men as well. But there was one story of a woman. She came in, first adult shop she'd ever been into, and she was 62 years old. And she said to me, she goes, I've just divorced my husband. my whole family hate me. She come from a very religious family. His family was very religious as well. The kids were absolutely devastated. The kids were obviously adults, very religious as well. They're like, how could you do this to dad? And blah, blah, blah. And she's telling me about this story, and I'm going, fuck, she's a bitch, you know, like how she's destroyed the whole family. Everyone's upset with her. And then she got in a bit deeper, and she goes, you know, like I was forced into this marriage. I never wanted to do it. You know, I never really loved the guy. It was just what we were supposed to do. It was a religious kind of thing. And, you know, once you're under the oath of God, you're not supposed to leave, and everyone's religious. And for 40 years, like she was like 20 or something. So like 40 years, she led a robotic, boring, dull life. She cooked, she got the kids ready. There was no sex. There was like, it was a boring relationship. And she it took her till 60 to get the confidence to leave. And I was almost in tears. I was like, fuck, like she's lived unhappy for 40 years just to keep her fucking family happy, her husband happy, her kids happy, and his family happy. And I'm like, fuck, you're an inspiration, man, for men and women out there that are stuck in stagnant relationships or unhappy or domestic violence. And I'm like, wow, like you need to talk about your story, like, you know. And she's like, you know, in the last month, I've been traveling into countries I've never been. I've been on the internet meeting up with men that, like, you know, for fun and whatever. And she was having a fucking time of her life. I've come into an adult shop for the first time in my life. She goes, I wish I'd done this 40 years ago. Like, I feel like I've wasted my life. And I was like, fuck, like that hit hard for me, you know. I'm like, there's people out there that live like that till they die, unhappy. So as much as I'm for the old school love and you stay together whether you fall out of love or not, like our grandmas and granddads used to do, if you're not happy, get the fuck out and do what your passion is and do what you believe you want to be doing. Like, don't stay in something just to keep everyone else happy. You know, your kids, it doesn't matter. Like it's only a short amount of time, 1 or 2 years, where it will be hard. But would you rather that or be unhappy for 40 years? You know what I mean? So there were a lot of good lessons in that out of that shop too. Jumping on a completely other spectrum. I once had a guy walk in a suit. He was like a businessman, and he walks to the table and he looks like someone out of the Matrix, you know. And he goes, I need this dong. So he grabs this dong off the wall and he's like, yep, this will do. And I'm just thinking his missus is freaky and whatever, and that's fucking cool. We're not here to judge. And he pays for it, and he gets it out the packet at the counter, and he shoves the whole entire thing down his throat. Yeah, bro. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? And he pulls it out and he goes, this one will do just fine. And I was like, hey, can you come out the back and just show me you're getting that? But seriously, I was like, well, that was spun out. And, you know, there was a lot of fucking moments like that in the shop where you just got to laugh, because you can't work in a shop like that and be judgment on what other people do. Like there's heaps of crazy shit. But like, you know, there's definitely some fucking really, really crazy stories. But yeah, no, I definitely got stagnant there. You know, I felt like I couldn't evolve or grow being there. I had a fuckload of fun. I had a massive following on Snapchat, which obviously took over my life. And then I took a turn and went down another path, and I may have had a lot of fun then, but I'm 10 times happier now. You know, that's the difference, bro. Like, having fun and actually being happy is two completely different things. And I think once you work out what's fun and exciting and what is actually true happiness, then you'll go in a pretty good direction. So
it's pretty amazing. Like, you've lived completely different lives.
Oh, bro, man, easy.
You got anything else you want to share with the audience before we wrap up? We can keep going if you got stuff written down, just go hard.
No. I've just wrote down a few things, and I've pretty much covered everything, eh? But so what do you do in Botto? Let's talk about you. What's going on? What do you do down there?
So I was driving the dump trucks, but all the dump trucks are autonomous. Yeah, so we can't do that anymore. So I'm just level 1 auxiliary. So I drive the little loaders, the float. For the people that don't know what the float is, it's basically a dump truck with no tray. It's just got a big ass trailer. And if the dozer needs to be moved from one side of the pit to the other or up to the workshop to get fixed, basically I'll go down, pick it up, be a tow truck driver and drive it up.
Yeah.
I've done like the loaders and excavators and stuff before, but on a different site. So basically, I was going to wait my turn to get trained up on the big loaders again and on the diggers and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, I'm doing job share. So I'm sharing my role with another operator. So she's doing the day shifts and I do the night shifts. So I only working the 1 week on doing the night shift and they get 3 weeks off. So yeah, I can spend more time here with the wife and kids. Wife's going to go back to full-time work. And yeah, so basically I'll be dropping the kids off at school, going for a surf, doing a podcast, working on my books. Like I said, FIFA number 3, I've written the draft for, so now it's got to like finalize that. I've just come up with like a better ending, so I was going to chuck that in. They're pretty. I don't know if you've read the books yet or not. Have you read the books or not yet?
No, I've just looked at them because we've only just linked up, and I did hear that you were an author, but you explained a little bit more to me tonight. So yeah, I'll definitely have to grab one of the colouring in books for the little one, and yeah, I'll give you other book. Yeah, the one about the drug addict to minor. that sounds like a pretty interesting read. So
basically, how they go is like you got FIFA number 1. So you got Mick, who pretty innocent guy, goes up to mining. So the dodgy, crazy stories, as you know from doing mining, all that's in there. But you meet characters along the way. So like in FIFA 1, you meet George, like the big token married fellow with all the tribal tats and stuff, and you meet Jono, who actually gets him a job. He's on the blast crew, actually gets Mick a job up in the mines and stuff, but they're quite minor characters. But in FIFA number 2, they become the main characters, and it actually tells you like Jono's story being a drug dealer, and George is actually a bodyguard for another drug dealer, but they get sick of all the nonsense that comes with being a bodyguard for a drug dealer. So he hits up one of his cuzzy bros and gets a job up in the mines, and he gets Jono up there, and so all this is basically, and with
number 3, continuous.
Yeah, it's like it's like a Tarantino movie. Well? Hey,
3 has the same characters as well, or?
Yeah, so basically you'll get characters out of the first book and like minor characters, and you give them a major role. So, and in like FIFO, so something happens to the main character in number 1 from the main characters like girlfriend, wife. And so basically number 3 is called FIFO 3. There's always 3 sides to a story because there's like his, hers, and then the truth. And you actually get the first side of the story about the different things, and you actually get some of the other characters like their side of the story. So all these stories intertwine, and you can actually pick what you believe out of each different thing. It's actually nice seeing like different people's points of view. But yeah, as they're talking about manifestation and stuff, basically I just want to keep this going because you can either introduce new characters and give them a role. So basically it'd be like a big ass TV series. So
is this fiction or non-fiction?
It's fake.
I thought these were stories from your experience.
So basically, when you start reading it, you'll recognize the characters because in mining, every mine site's got that big token marry fella.
Yeah,
mine site's got that drunken drug addict type thing,
Yeah.
So you'll read it and you're like, I bet you he's talking about Steve, but he's called him Pete.
You can relate to it, bro. You can relate to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you'll read it and you'll be like, this is a true story. This has definitely happened, but it's not. It's made up from all the different stereotypes and all the different things. They're pretty loose books. Have you read the Don't Tell Mama Work on the Oil Rigs? She thinks I'm a piano player. Paul
No.
Carter. Yeah, so they're quite famous books, but his life doing the oil rigs with like the dodgy, he does like dwarf throwing and stuff like that, I think. But basically,
is that based on true stories?
That is a true story, his one. So I've basically done something similar, but a FIFO version, and because I'm making it up, I can go a lot looser, a lot crazier, so a lot funnier books.
What how did you go about getting published and things like that? Was that a hard journey for you, or did you come across it quite easily, or?
I did basically when Tyler was 2, I wanted to show him what I do in the mines, and there's nothing out there. So I figured I'd go make him a book. I didn't even care if it was going to be like a photo of a dump truck, and then I write down as, just like like a paper book, exercise book. I didn't care how it turned out. I was going to make it happen, whether it would look rubbish or not. I was going to do it. But then end up Googling and YouTubing how to self-publish like a kid's book and all that type of stuff. So I went and took all the photos of the machines and stuff like that. And then I put words into it and found like there's a website called Create Space, which is part of Amazon. It's pretty useless now. But I ended up like making they had like templates. So I just downloaded templates and cut and pasted the wording and the photos and stuff. It printed out. It turned out all right. I sold quite a few copies and stuff. But then there's like a everything, as you know, everything happens for a reason. So basically, what happened then? They end up becoming too hard. Like basically, if I wanted to order the books because it was coming from America, I would have to pay like full price, like retail price. What's the point of paying retail price when I'm trying to like sell it at retail price? Like there's no profit in it at all. So I end up being forced to like go through an Australian company, which I end up getting the books a lot cheaper. It's a lot more expensive, like because the formatting and stuff like that. So it cost me a bit more to get the books formatted to their site requirements, but the quality of the book is heaps better. So it was a blessing in disguise. As you were saying with your clothing, basically you got the whole Bali editions as like your first ones, but that forced you to figure out how to do it properly. And now you got like really good quality stuff. Yeah,
That's right.
I did the same thing. I was forced to up my game, and now I got way better quality books. And I ended up going like because I ended up getting like dry throat heaps and I talk heaps. Yeah, so basically
Have some water, bro.
like swallowing every couple of sentences. Like
Trying to get
that's all like interviewing people as opposed to being the person interviewed. But yeah, basically
people want to hear the story.
Oh, it's a good story. I was going to like try to say it. Yeah, so basically, so I did the one for like mining, and then I was like, oh, it must be other people that want to like show their kids what they do. So
that's a good idea, man, because they like to take the families and that to site, but they don't do that as much as they used to. You know what I mean? They used to take families up to sites and that all the time, but now they don't do it as much. But you're right, like a mining site is pretty cool to kids, you know, like you've got trucks and machines and you know, excavators and diggers and like kids love that shit, you know, like, so especially boys, but to know your dad does it, and then like, you know, so then they have that emotional drive to want to read the book, and then yeah, like that's awesome. So you've got like the kids' books with the colouring books, and then you've got the ones with like the real photos and that as well, yeah?
Yeah, so you got Australian mining machines, which is like all your photos of all the different machines. So you got the excavator, shovels, bulldozers, everything like that. Then you got the colouring in ones. But you also got like the police vehicles, like you got the firefighting one, which is all real life photos. But when I hit the cops up to do like a police vehicles one for them, they said they weren't going to hold the police vehicles up for me to take photos. So then I was forced to lift my game and find out how to get an illustrator to draw all the police vehicles and stuff. So once I had an illustrator, I didn't have to hit up the people to do it. So basically, like So Far Saving Australia, I just took all the photos of what they wanted and stuff like that, like the jet skis and the rescue helicopters, and I could just pay an illustrator to draw them all up so I can get the pictures that I wanted. Same as the paramedics, same as the Australian Defence Force machines. So I got like the Army, Navy, Air Force all in one. And then, the kids' book smashed out 7 of them. And then I was reading heaps of novels. So I thought I could probably write a better novel than half of these people. So so just while I was in the truck and stuff like that, I started writing out stories. Then ended up like writing up like enough of a story to make my first novel. And then once you've learnt the process, you can just smash them out. So yeah, 5 number 2's done. Like I said, 5 number 3's coming up soon. And then I was continuing doing this.
That's it. Now you've just got to fund it, you know, like that's your hardest part, funding it, and you've got everything down packed, man, then you're doing all right, you know.
No, it's all working out pretty sweet. Well, what's the go with your podcast? Are you still going to do that, or?
So my podcast is called Writing Raw, and it's basically about we take successful people and peel back the layers and talk about their authentic, basically their journey, man, and basically people that have been through hardship, and we talk about the raw stuff, man, like where they come from and how they got to where they are, pretty much. So we try to look at people that are doing pretty good, and then you talk about, their upbringing. They might have been like, you might never expect that someone who's a multimillionaire, as a child they fucking didn't eat, or their parents were drug addicts, or things like that. So it's about going deep and raw into those realms. So I like to uncover the layers where people are comfortable to talk about it, and it just helps other people realize that humans are just real, man. They're not fucking fake. And that's what my partner always likes to talk about, the real shit on socials, because everyone likes to put on filters and makeup and show off their nice purses and watches and cars. But no one wants to sit there when they're fucking got no makeup on and they've had a shit day and they've got tears rolling down their face, and they've just had their car repossessed because they're fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and those are the people might not want to talk about it at the time, but we like to go back to those times and talk about, how you overcome it, and the stresses and the anxieties and the downfalls, and how did you get through it? And it just gives other people hope, and it just gives also other people the time to just sit there and go, well, fuck, they're real people just like me, and I went through that kind of shit. So that gives them a bit of drive and a bit of hope to go, well, fuck, maybe I should push on and do what I fucking want to do,
So if you start recording them, because I was trying to look you up on YouTube.
I've got a YouTube channel. Like I said, man, between Believe and all my breathwork training and stuff and FIFO, man, it's so we're currently in the process of moving house as well. I've got all the gear. I've got all this. We went and bought all this like quite a neat little podcast set up, and it's all connected to the computer. But this room isn't really soundproof, and it's quite echoey. So I've recorded some music and stuff with it, but not as yet has I done a podcast. I've got a list of people. I've even strategized and structured the questionnaires and everything, and I'm excited for it. And I'm definitely, I feel as though I'm not quite ready for it either. So I feel like I want to educate myself a little bit more and then dive deep when I'm ready. So that'll be happening soon. I think because we're actually moving out of this house, and we're going to get a bigger house for our family. So that's in the process. So when we settled into our new place, I think I'm going to get the wall done up and soundproof the room. There's no point doing that here. We're going to be out of here in a month or so. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've definitely got everything sorted, all the artwork, all the YouTube set up, the Instagram, everything's ready to roll, man. Just need to sit down and get stuck into it like yourself. You're 55 in or something, are you? So that's pretty like good, man. Yeah, exciting. So where do you find most of your guests?
Basically, social media. So I found you on TikTok because you did one of the which one was it? Where I think you flew in. I think you kissed your son goodbye or something. Like saw your son.
Heading to site, yeah.
Yeah, heading to site. You went in the truck and all the couple of things. That was quite a few months ago now. Yeah. So I saw you in that one. Most of the guests are either off Instagram or off TikTok. So basically, I just wait till I see someone that actually looks interesting, that they'll have a good story, and then I just hit them up. So either other podcasters or other FIFO workers. yeah, it's like some of the people.
Yeah,
It's funny though, as you'll find out, like you hit somebody up for one thing, and then they end up like they'll share with you they've been molested or they've been raped or they've
that's right.
it's just so many different things. You think you're interviewing somebody for one thing. That's like when you said, "Oh, have you done research about me? What do you know about me?" And it's like all I knew was you got the Believe brand and you do FIFO, and that was good enough for me. I knew there's going to be more into it. So all you have to do is tick one or two boxes, and you know it's going to go somewhere.
Like I used to. This is not saying that it's publicly posted, but I used to be signed to a studio as well. I was signed to BCK Studios in Perth. I recorded one single called "Reach for the Sky," which kind of haunts me now because all my friends and that always play this song, this single I did years ago, and it's a little bit cringy to me now. But you know, I was real passionate about it back in the day, and I actually getting into that, I actually gave that up to do the adult shops and then FIFO. So I find that my passion for the music's not there now. I like to pick up the guitar and have a jam and that to kind of de-stress or relax and have a beer. But back then I wrote probably 2 to 3 albums, probably 2 albums I wrote back when I was between like 15 and 22. And you know, no one even knew I played music. And then my brother found out, and he had friends, and they told their friends, and one of them owned a studio, and he goes, "I want to record your shit." And I was like, "Yep." And I was excited for it because I was doing something, but I was actually shy and nervous about it as well. And then I released the single, and I got, like everything, man, I got hate and I got love, and I didn't know how to deal with the hate back then. And even a lot of my close friends, my family was supportive, but I had close friends that would fucking give me shit about it and stuff like that. So I was just like, judgment really got the best of me. So, like your question at the start, if you could go back and talk to yourself, would be don't let judgment get you in the way of anything. To answer that, now that I've thought about it, because yeah, like that stopped me from doing a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Don't concentrate on the negative, concentrate on the positive. Like you've got 20 people telling you your song's good and you're good at guitar, and you got one person that goes, "This is shit," and the way you're dressed is fucking, you look like a loser. And then you go away for the rest of the day saddened by that, then that is your choice. You choose to let that get to you, and you have control over that as well. And as much as it sucks to have that, you've got to learn how to deal with it, man, because it's going to be everywhere, and not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. You're not going to like everyone, but you know you just got to be smart enough and humble enough to keep your fucking shit to yourself and not post on people's shit like other people do. Dickheads do that. Sad people do that. People that have got, that's a reflection of themselves, man. They got their shit going on. They're the truer, most unhappy people you would meet is someone who goes on a complete randomly person's. My girlfriend, my fiance, sorry, Kirsty. She has a friend, Tracy, who does makeup. She's an excellent makeup artist, one of the best in Australia. And she decided to do TikTok. There's a lot of organic growth. Everyone's on there. You know, everyone talks about it. All business people say TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. She got on there. She did a few makeup tutorials, and all these people are like, "Oh, this is, you look like a slut, and you're fucking, that makeup looks fucking trashy, and go kill yourself," and like fucking, you know, like nasty ass shit, man. And all she's doing is she had to get off of it. She couldn't handle it. She goes, this, she couldn't believe. And after that experience, she didn't want her kids on the platform because like how vastly your organic growth and the algorithm, you can just like, you can put up a video and some random ass fucker in America can see it, you know. It's got some like growth on there, and I'm like, it just baffles me that two things there, that people have the audacity to do that and be that person, but also humans let it get to them. You know, you hear of suicides over cyberbullying, and there's people probably don't talk about it like I said, but there's probably thousands of people that give up on their dreams and shit because of what other people have said. Like I said, John Smith 69, man, like he could completely ruin your fucking day, man, with some negative shit. And you know, you could bail that person up and be like, "Wait, what the fuck? Like, why did you say that in the street? And they're like, oh, I don't know, I was just joking. Like that to them, they never think of that again. Like they just move on with their life. And then, but you could completely change the direction of someone's life with some negative shit. So, definitely some word of advice is, man, if you're doing what you love and it makes you happy, then let the people hate, man. Just ignore it. Just ignore those comments. And if you've got a couple people that are loving it, then keep doing it, man. And attention them. Tell them thank you. Send them an inbox. Cheers for going out of your way to fucking send a message. Leave the fucking comments. Don't even comment or like it. Or kill them with kindness. Say thanks for your comment, man. Enjoy your day.
Yeah.
That's what I do, because I can't help but not say anything because I'm going to say something to them, mate.
I'll just block it. Just delete the comment and block. Hey, we've run over our 40 minutes thing. When you start doing Zoom, I think if you pay for it, you can go for as long as you want, but I'll do the free one. So it's like 40 minutes.
That's still good, man.
Cool. So we might wrap up here. Give yourself
covered up
for everything.
Hey?
Give yourself a plug for everything, where they can find the Believe the
label.
Yeah,
so Believe the Label is we're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. My personal Beau Drury, I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and that's pretty much it at the moment. My Writing Raw podcast is on Instagram and YouTube, and big things are coming for Believe in Your Breath, which is breathwork meditation that I'm going to be sharing with the world very, very soon. I'm just reading a couple more books and really fine-tuning my work. And there's going to be some massive, massive things happening. So keep an eye out for Believe in Your Breath, because I haven't even released this yet. So this podcast is the first time I've spoke about it. The only person that knows about this is me and Kirsty. So hopefully by the time, how long until this goes up?
Either tonight, or I'll probably only go help put the kids to bed. So I'll probably put it up tomorrow. So these YouTubes and Spotify's and everything will be up tomorrow.
Yep. I've had, since doing my journey, look, like what I said before, is because I was that dick and that guy before, and that, I was entertaining, but probably a lot of people looked at me and probably thought I was a cock, Now they see this spiritual side, this business side, this loving parent and loving partner side. They probably will look at the work I'm doing and be like, hey, there's hope that people do change, and maybe they've got some shit going on, and they'll come to me and open up, and I can help them on their journey and their process. So that's the plan with clothing or breathwork, man, So
no, you're definitely going to help a lot of people. Well, I just want to say a big thanks for coming on the show. Did you enjoy yourself?
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it, man. It's been a blast. I'm glad we finally linked up, so I'm blessed.
Sweet as. All right, do the little outro. Well, that's a wrap. I'd like to thank Beau again for coming on the show, and I'd like to thank you, the listener, for listening, or the watcher for watching. Please tell a friend about the podcast and have a fantastic day. See ya.
Peace.